Last week, a tank at a paper mill plant imploded suddenly, killing 11 workers. And as an investigative reporter, when incidents like this happen, it's my job to dig into any and all past records about this workplace. And we found that this paper mill had previous workplace violations as well as employee complaints filed against them. So I'm going to show you how to find this information at your place of work or maybe somewhere you're considering working at, because it's important information, it's public, and I believe it's your right to know how to do this. First, head to this website. It also usually pops up if you just Google OSHA workplace search. And if you scroll down here, you can see that they have an establishment search where you can search by a number of different ways. I'm just going to search by the name of this paper mill, and then you choose the state, which is here in Washington State. And you can also choose the years. It goes back to the 70s, so I'm going to do it for the whole thing as far as we can go. And when you press enter, you'll see all of these different results. These are the results after each time OSHA has inspected a workplace, and you can see if it did result in a violation, whether the complaint came from an employee. And if you click on the inspection number, it gives a little bit more information, but not too much detail. So a lot more information on those specific violations are oftentimes with your state's Labor and Industries Department. So now we're on the Washington State Department of Labor and Industries, and you can search for a contractor, tradesperson, or business on here. So we're going to type in that paper mill, and you can see it pops up right here. So we're going to click on it. If you scroll down, you can see the number of inspections and violations, and they should match the numbers that you got on OSHA's website. Click into there, and it will have the PDF and information on the citation, a lot more information here. You can see this one involved the company getting a violation after they moved equipment following a finger amputation. So really good information to get, especially if you're looking at working somewhere or if you already do work somewhere. That's how we do it at the King 5 Investigators Unit, so make sure to give us a follow as we investigate this further.
Here's a question. What government agency had the oversight and was inspecting that giant storage tank in Longview, Washington that collapsed and poured toxic fluid that killed 11 workers? Surprisingly, the answer is none, according to University of Washington occupational health expert Dr. Marissa Baker. She told us that underground tanks and those that contain certain products like oil or gas do get regular state or federal inspections, but the tank at pulp mill Nippon Dynawave in Longview did not fall into that category. It stored corrosive white liquor used to turn wood into pulp, and that is not a chemical for which regulations require inspections. It's left to the company owner to make sure that regular cleaning and maintenance duties are done. There are many rules, though, and regulations that require workplace safety for all employees. After 11 deaths and several more injuries, the Washington State Department of Labor and Industries is now investigating if Nippon Dynawave was following those regulations.
From my first meeting with the local organizing committee, I emphasized the importance of a more affordable and accessible World Cup experience, including for our youth. And I'm excited that today we are announcing the boldest local youth access initiative in the country. I am so proud to announce that our Youth Access Program will give over 1,400 tickets to young people and their caregivers from across our region so that they have the opportunity to attend FIFA World Cup matches right here in Seattle, free of charge.
A Lacey 63-year-old woman was out here sitting on her walker last week, enjoying a sunny afternoon, when a car came barreling over the curb and crushed her up against the wall of her apartment complex. According to police, that man had hit someone across the street here at a 7-Eleven, and instead of stopping and exchanging insurance information, he decided to drive away. He hit two other cars in the intersection here before ending up in this building. Tonight we are hearing from that woman's family. They tell us she was a volunteer and gave so much to the community and did not deserve this. The man is accused of, and officially charged today, with a long list of crimes, including vehicular homicide.
FIFA World Cup excitement is happening in Seattle. I can't believe it's almost time.
I know, so everyone is getting super excited about this. Take a look at this new Orca card. It's got a very special native design on it. It is by Clean Kit artist Allison Bremner. They made 27,000 of these cards. You can get them kind of at service centers, select vending machines around town, but I feel like you will really be going to all the FIFA soccer games in style if you have this special card.
Stunning, stunning, 27,000 of y'all. And Boop. Did you know, first of all, that their mascot's name is Boop? I did not, and it's because of the little sound.
When you tap your Orca card, it makes a
boop. And then look at that. All of the cute little details on him. This is pretty cool. I hope you all are getting excited and prepared for World Cup. Gonna be a lot of people here.
very fun.
Take a look at this. A boat that fell off a trailer partially blocked the southbound lanes of Interstate 405 near Bellevue, near 112th Avenue Southeast Wednesday afternoon. The boat was in the roadway for about an hour before being cleared to the shoulder as the owner waited for a tow truck. According to a Washington State trooper, the trailer being used to haul the boat was too small.
We're just 2 weeks away from the grand opening of the Obama Presidential Center in Chicago. It's set to open to the public on Juneteenth, and we're getting some of our first looks inside the massive new campus. The $850 million project spans more than 19 acres on Chicago's south side. It's designed to be more than a presidential library. Inside, exhibits highlight President Obama's political legacy, Michelle Obama's public initiatives, and historic movements. The campus will also feature a basketball court and spaces for community events. The former president loved basketball. The shape of the 225-foot central tower, inspired by four hands coming together, symbolizes the idea that many hands shape a community.
The home of the Seahawks will soon be home to another football team.
I'm the biggest soccer fan, I'm super excited for Belgium to actually be here.
Belgium's national squad is touching down in Renton, gearing up for its World Cup match with Egypt in just 2 weeks.
For the past 27 years, I've been kicking this ball around, and I'm not bored of it yet.
For diehard soccer fans like Joshua Torres, the goal is seeing the Belgium team up close.
I'm actually a big fan of the Belgian national team, so if they're going to be around here, I'm hoping I can catch a glimpse of them, maybe catch a practice or even just see them around would be awesome.
While Torres has his eyes on the stars, Renton police are a major player in keeping the team safe.
It certainly is unique. It doesn't happen very often. Probably in my career, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
All month long, RPD will lead security for the team.
Really throughout the month of June, at the most, one day, we could have 15 different security spots, whether that's at the Sounders practice facility, or if it's at the hotel, or if it's in those movements for escorting.
A federal grant is covering the cost for security services, bringing in extra officers from around the area. RPD says 911 response times won't be affected.
We want to make sure that obviously the community is safe, all of the fans that are coming to town are safe, and all of the players are safe.
As Renton gets a front row look at what makes soccer special.
Beautiful game. That's it. It's the beautiful game. I think it has something to offer for everyone, really.
Out of Naval Base Kitsap Bangor today, always a very secure place, even more so today when the Chief of Naval Operations is in town. Admiral Daryl Cottle made his first trip to the Northwest since taking over that role last August. He's been making a lot of trips all around the country as part of a new initiative. We had a chance to sit down with him one-on-one and talk with him about that plan and all sorts of other things, and you can look for that interview later this week on King 5.
8 sources who have been tracking Alexandra Lozano's embattled career tell me this is her jet. There aren't documents that spell that out, but look at this. Not only is it bright pink, it also says Abogada, which is what she refers to herself as, and this is an image of her using a heart gesture, which is how she has been marketing herself as well.
I also found real estate records that tied her to a property in Covington, as well as a luxury condo in downtown Seattle that's worth millions. There's also a Renton property that she used to own as well. We spoke to a former client of hers who is actually one of the plaintiffs in the civil lawsuit against her in federal court, and he joined us to talk to us from his work truck during his lunch break, and he says the contrast is just so drastic that people are working hard to gather money so that they can pay their legal fees with her, which range from anywhere from $10,000 to $15,000, and that she is living this lavish lifestyle that involves international travel.
Who's ready for a peanut butter and mayonnaise mayonnaise sandwich. It sounds like a dare, but there's a surprisingly good culinary reason some people, like me, genuinely love them. First, it's all about fat and richness. Both peanut butter and mayonnaise are high-fat foods, and fat, as we know, carries flavor and creates a rich, satisfying mouthfeel. Together, they produce something incredibly creamy and decadent, almost like a savory version of a dessert spread. Yes, I know it sounds crazy, but for many Americans, especially those in the South and Midwest, peanut butter and mayonnaise sandwiches were popular during the Great Depression and World War II because both ingredients were inexpensive and shelf-stable. People who grew up with them, like me, often associate the flavor with childhood comfort food. So the next time you're hungry, try a peanut butter and mayonnaise sandwich.
Kent police are investigating a girl's death outside an apartment complex. 911 calls about gunshots started coming in Wednesday morning around 4:20. Police found the girl, who they say appears to be a juvenile, with injuries to her head and face. They tried to save her life, but say she died. Now they're working to determine how. We've asked police for details about who she is and if there are any suspects, but Kent police denied our request for an interview Wednesday.
Your GPS has probably made you miss a turn, but this is next level. A woman somehow drove her SUV onto the elevated Sound Transit tracks right here at Mount Baker Station. Seattle police say the 70-year-old driver told officers she was following her GPS. The car got stuck on the guideway, forcing Sound Transit to cut power and suspend part of one-line service yesterday night. Shuttle buses replaced those trains between Soto and Othello while crews figured out how to get the SUV off the tracks. The driver got out and was taken to the hospital as a precaution. The wild part is that crews had to use another device to tow the car back down the tracks before service could reopen. Seattle police say the woman is not being charged with anything. They say that they saw no signs of intoxication and she was just confused.
Exciting and busy times for sure. Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson is sending more than 1,400 kids to the World Cup completely free of charge. The mayor announced this new initiative today. Tickets will go to community organizations already selected.
For many of these young people, I know that this will be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. They'll walk into a stadium filled with energy and excitement. They'll watch the world's best athletes compete. And they'll be part of a moment that connects people across continents, cultures, and languages.
And the mayor says this is the tournament's largest local youth access program ever.
It was a very busy afternoon in the Pierce County Courthouse this afternoon. Just hours ago, we got our first look at the suspected killer in this case.
Detectives are asking for the public's help finding this man. Pierce County detectives say Brandon Torres Mesa is the gunman who robbed and killed 17-year-old Braylon Daniel Diaz. Investigators say Torres Mesa is armed, are asking anyone with any information to come forward.
State versus Alyssa Marie Vaught-Barr.
Meanwhile, alleged getaway driver Alyssa Vaught-Barr appeared before a judge Tuesday on a first-degree murder charge.
I've reviewed the charging documents, and based on my review, I do find probable cause to go forward with these charges, so I will enter a plea of not guilty on your behalf.
Court documents say the teenage victim and his girlfriend were walking in a Parkland neighborhood on May 24th when a red Toyota Corolla pulled up beside them. Detectives say Torres Mesa demanded the teen's necklace, took it, shot him, and then took off.
Another twist in this case, investigators believe a third person who may have been inside the vehicle is connected to this case. That person is currently in custody on unrelated charges. We're not naming that person because no charges have been filed.
So the World Cup descends on Seattle in less than 2 weeks, and cities all up and down the I-5 corridor are preparing for what they call the spillover effect. That is tourists who are packed into King County to watch the games. Well, maybe they can't afford to stay there, or they can't find hotel rooms, so they are moving further north to places like Mount Vernon, Skagit County, Skagit Valley. And if you are in that area, you will see these signs being put up this week that are intended to direct tourists to various cities like La Conner, Anacortes, Cedro-Woolley, Mount Vernon, to get folks off the I-5 corridor and get them into those little towns and hopefully bring some much needed business.
This video was taken last month as 25-year-old Kupsa Margarza was showing a man and a woman around Growler Guys along Lake City Way after hours. Investigators say they got there around 5 in the morning after meeting at a hookah lounge the night before. This video picks up about an hour later when they appear to get into an argument. As they walk to the back, you can see who police identify as the suspect, Lucas Logan, apparently raise a gun and shoot Margarza. We've paused the video here. You then see Logan and the woman try to break through the locked door, run through the patio area, and leave the restaurant.
This is not something you see every day. A semi-trailer carrying watermelons caught on fire on Pioneer Highway in Snohomish County, just west of I-5. Snohomish County firefighters say it started as a brake fire that quickly grew. No word on any injuries, although it's a lot of watermelons that are destroyed. The road has since reopened.
Prosecutors are responding to growing outrage over criminal activity along Aurora Avenue in Seattle, essentially saying, look, we've been doing our job, but yes, there is still more work to do. The King County Prosecutor's Office just revealed that since 2024, they have charged 427 felony cases along the Aurora corridor, many of which can be traced back to illegal sex work. That includes a disturbing new human trafficking case involving a 14-year-old girl. A Bellevue man is now charged with forcing the teen to, quote, work on Aurora, a street she called the Blade. Now, neighbors built their own barricades on side streets after a string of drive-by shootings connected to prostitution activity. The city removed them and replaced them with official concrete barriers as a, quote, traffic calming measure. Prosecutors say more still needs to be done, but they're telling residents in the area they can count on prosecutors to do their job.
Downtown Seattle is feeling very empty these days. And the sale of a giant skyscraper here in the downtown business district is just the latest example of big changes happening in this city. I'm Jake, I follow the news so you don't have to. For this one, we need to look up. This is the U.S. Bank building in Seattle. And according to an insider with Bloomberg Business, Blackstone, which owned the 44-story tower, just sold it to Spear Street Capital for about $280 million. And that is, get this, less than half the value that they bought this tower for 7 years ago. Less than half. This sale is yet another example of the persistent decline for office space here in the downtown Seattle area. That's a big building. I mean, there's very few businesses left. Carmine's obviously is a popular one, but doesn't look like there's anything on the third floor. Let's go check it out. This is a major, major piece of real estate in Seattle, and there's just nobody in here. I mean, it is gutted. The coffee shop's still pretty booming. But now this building is at the center of a sea of declining property values here in the downtown core. According to a report from the Downtown Seattle Association, the vacancy rate here in the downtown core is at 37% now. That means a third of all office space here in the business district sits empty. So why is this happening?
These are realities that other cities in our region and around the country are dealing with too. Hybrid work and post-COVID, all of that, right? But they're growing jobs and we aren't. Bellevue's growing jobs, Seattle is not.
A lot of Seattle business owners say this city has just become too hostile of a business environment. Taxes are too high, costs are up, borrowing costs, of course, are up as well. Of course, crime is a major deterrent for some of these business owners down here that are just sick of seeing it. And you have to mention, just the demand for in-person office space is also down these days. A lot of people just work from home. But with news about the U.S. Bank Center selling for half of its value, looking at the Seattle skyline these days, it just feels different.
1, 2, and 3. Why would I want anything less than what I want for my own children to be not what my own sailors have? I want their dormitories to be, high quality. I want the furnishings in there to be good, the bed to be comfortable, the Wi-Fi to be fast, the galley to serve great, high nutritious meals. I think people are most professionally happy, Greg, when they come to work and they feel like they're competent and that they're trained at a level that they understand exactly what's expected of them and that they really, control their destiny and what we expect from them. And when that's the case, I think that gives them confidence. I think that gives them efficiency and allows them to go do things, for me that actually allow them to be synergized to punch above their weight class.
A federal judge sentenced a King County man to 4.5 years in prison for a hate crime. The Justice Department Civil Rights Division called the crime by Adán Hernández Mayoral brutal and one that shocks the conscience. It is indeed that. In 2024, he stepped onto a King County Metro bus and unprovoked started calling an African-American passenger Rosa Parks. He told her to move to the back of the bus, and when she did move to try to get away from him, he followed her with a knife. He pushed her off the bus and tried to stab her, but she was spared from serious injury by her thick coat. Kent police arrested Hernández Mayoral later that same day. The FBI joined the hate crime investigation. In addition to the 4.5 years prison time for a hate crime causing bodily injury, the court to determine at a later date if he owes the victim restitution.
West Pierce Fire and Rescue's rescue team safely extricated a 13-year-old stuck in a 13 by 9-inch chimney. Crews were able to get the teen out by creating an opening through the wall and brick. There are no reported injuries.
Westbound I-90 is closed right now from Ellensburg all the way to Cle Elum because of a semi-truck that caught fire early this morning. Take a look at these photos from the State Patrol that shows the damaged semi-truck. You can also see several apples that are on the road, so it looks like it might have been carrying apples. We don't know what caused this fire, but right now crews are trying to clean up and assess the bridge to make sure that it is safe. So traffic is being detoured on Highway 97. And again, this closure could last several hours.